Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast. Your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Strength is beauty. Beauty is strength. What makes you beautiful? She-Hulk by Titania.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. Today brought to you by She-Hulk from Titania. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest episode is my partner in crime, it's Stefan.
You gotta warn me when you're gonna do that stuff. That was awesome.
No, never give out a warning. Always leave it as a surprise. Joining us also to discuss the show, it's the Marvel superfan, the wonderful, the lovely, it's Kayleigh.
Hello.
How you doing, Angel?
Wonderful, thank you.
That's what I like to hear. We are back. It's all three of us for the first time in I don't know how long, and it's She-Hulk episode 5 of season 1. Stefan, the title of the episode was...
Mean, green, and straight poured into these jeans.
I think I don't know if I said this to both of you or not, but this is like sometimes I see an episode title, and I saw this, and it just cracked me up straight away. I was just like, oh, I can kind of sense where this is going. But it made me laugh. Overall thoughts. Stefan, before we went live and we started recording, you pointed out that the good folks on IMDb are not rating this series very highly.
No, 2.8 thousand people have registered their IMDb rating, and it is currently sitting at 5.5 for this episode.
5.5 for an episode. I think that's a little bit harsh. For this
episode for me, I'll be honest with you, this episode felt a little bit like a filler episode. Ooh. Minus kind of a couple of little bits that happened. I didn't see much in this episode that's going to genuinely affect the series that much.
The fact that she now legally owns her name She-Hulk.
Which is a nice thing, but then...
The fact we've established that there's someone within the MCU who is creating clothes for superheroes like Edna Mold.
Now that bit was cool, to be fair. That bit was awesome.
Okay.
But in general terms of kind of the actual show itself, I felt it was a bit of a filler episode. However, unlike other shows that we podcast about and we watch and things, when there's like a bottle filler episode, we normally come on here and go, well, that was pointless.
Yeah.
This episode, as much as I felt it was like that sort of an episode, I still sat there with a smile on my face from start to finish and still enjoyed the episode.
Okay.
Which is a nice difference, you know? I don't think much happened in this episode that is going to impact, minus the Titania saying, oh, this isn't finished, and there's an awesome dude making outfits for superheroes.
Yeah. I mean,
minus those two things, not that much really advanced. However...
It's kind of funny you say it, there isn't really anything in this episode. It's filler. Nothing really, other than that. And then
other than those two really big bits.
Other than those bits that are going to link in heavily to the future, nothing really linked in heavily to the future.
Exactly. You get what I'm going.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, complete solid logic. Love it.
Yeah.
Kayleigh, what were your overall thoughts of the episode?
Well, surprisingly, I actually 95% agree with Stefan this week.
Oh my god, this is weird.
It's happening again, Sam. It's happening.
I know.
I enjoyed it. You know, I wasn't blown away by much that happened.
To be fair, your opinion has kind of gone down a little bit for me since you were blown away by the twerking.
Oh, it's so funny. So funny. And I think that's why maybe I've deflated a little bit, because there was no twerking in this episode.
You feel that this episode was the poorer for a lack of second-rate musicians twerking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There is one thing actually with this episode which did surprise me, was there was no post-credit.
No, but what we got was good.
The final kind of bit of the show was like, I basically made a noise that I'm not proud of making. But
yeah, I kind of feel like that last scene should have been the end credit scene. Yeah, it's almost like they edited it slightly wrong and went, we didn't put credits in first.
Yeah, just leave it in there, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was one of the things. It was like said when the show started. It was like, oh, there's going to be a post-credit scene after every episode. There is, of course, the reality that sometimes things happen in the news, and if you've put a throwaway joke in or something in a post-credit, you might go, yeah, delete that. You know, perhaps She-Hulk was saying, I'd like a crown like the Queen Elizabeth, and they went, yeah, do you know what? Not right now. No, don't do that. Leave that out.
Yeah.
You never know. It'll probably get revealed at some point.
I remember there was a rumour a long time ago now, about remember the September 11 bit with the Twin Towers? Yeah. That was meant to be in one of the Spider-Man films. Something was going to happen, and Spider-Man was going to literally use his webs and keep them standing. Yeah. And whilst the film was being made, 9/11 happened, and they're like, cut all of that. Yeah, cut that out now.
Well, you know, this happens in TV and film quite a lot. Do you remember the TV show? It was a BBC one. It was called Spooks. It was all about people working in MI5 in the UK. And there was a brand new series. BBC One aired it. You had 2 episodes into the series. It was going to be 6 episodes in total. And then, boom, it vanished. And the reason why it vanished is because someone from the security services watched the episode and went, you cannot air that. And they were like, oh, well, why not? And they were like, because that is literally happening. That whole thing you're discussing with a team monitoring a terrorist group, it is happening right now. And if you air this, they could watch it, freak out how close it is to the reality, and bolt. And you cannot air it. And like, I think it was about 6 months went by, and then the show finally aired. And then years later, it was revealed that was why. yeah, crazy. But focusing back in on She-Hulk, within this episode, we do see Titania again. We know at the end of the last episode, Jen was served with papers to say that Titania had trademarked the She-Hulk name. And as our intro suggested, she wasted no time basically throwing products out there, branded as She-Hulk, trying to make some money. All of it sounded very nonsensical. Kayleigh, I need to bring you in here. The list of products, when they were rattling them off, all sounded pretty nonsensical to me, or are they essentials and I just don't realise it?
Yeah, they all do very different things.
Yeah, okay. I kind of loved...
Kayleigh owns majority of the range.
Yeah, it's like... Kayleigh sat there watching it going, okay, now, how do I order this? Where do I order this from? Where is the Titania shop right now? I think it's Nikki, isn't it? Nikki's her friend, Jen's friend. PA, paralegal. There we go. Those were the words I was looking for. I really love the dynamic between those two, because when she does decide to go and confront Titania, and she goes there as herself, and Nikki's there with her, Nikki's kind of just like looking at everything like, yeah, I'm here to support you. I'm on your side. Ooh, shiny. Is this free? Is this a sample? And she follows her on social media. She's like, you follow her? She's like, just to find out stuff. So I love that. I love the dynamic. What did, Stefan, I'll start with you. What did you think of the kind of confrontation between the two? Obviously, Titania's met She-Hulk before. But this was Jen. This was Jen confronting her, telling her to knock it off.
Not taken seriously at all, is it? Like, can you take our photo? Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, it's just one. And then like Jen's such a lovely person, like probably doormat, sort of. At the same time, like, you're gonna stop doing this. It's my name. All right, I'll take one picture of you with a fan. One. Yeah, and that's it.
It was kind of really nice. Kayleigh, me and you, when we were on the show and we were discussing, we were doing the catch-up of various episodes, one of the things we discussed was the kind of growing dynamic where She-Hulk's getting the love and Jen really isn't. And, you know, we were kind of feeling a bit sorry for her. Did you, in this episode, get that same feeling again?
Yeah, I did, actually, at a couple of points. There were a few moments where I kind of, my heart broke a little bit for her.
Well, the guy that walked out on her after the date, having the parade back into the court scene, which obviously we'll come on to in a second, but him doing that testimony, and the worst thing about it, and I say the worst thing about it, he wasn't being horrible in what he was saying. He was just basically saying, She-Hulk was I found very attractive, just not my type. And he was being very kind of calm, respectful, and nice about that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how charming someone is to you when they're saying no and rejecting you, they are still rejecting you. Yeah. And I don't know, but I was just kind of watching her in that scene, and she's a phenomenal actress. And I'm like, yeah, part of her is breaking a little bit. She's smiling like, oh, thank you, thank you for coming, but that's got to be hurting, surely.
I felt that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all been there.
I was waiting for Kayleigh to jump in there, and I was like, oh!
I felt, we've all been there. Some of us more than others.
It's worse when people are nice, though.
Yeah.
If it had been, bitter and, really harsh.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of thing.
But when you've got to sit there smiling and being, oh, thanks.
Well, a friend of mine
walked into the courtroom and being like, I felt like I was catfished because look at She-Hulk and look at the state of Jennifer. It would have been like, oh, what an ass. But the fact he was just so kind and like, well, one's my type, one's not my type. You're like, Jennifer, you feel sorry for her.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reality. I mean, I've got a friend who's going through a breakup at the moment, and like they can't get angry because there's a mutual breakup. They're both on good terms. And I'm like, seriously, you got to find a way to be angry. Just find something about him that used to annoy you. Focus there, because anger is a great emotion to get you through crap. Because there must be something. And I'm kind of like, in that situation, I'm looking at her thinking, I feel so bad because it's just such a... And also, and I mean, we will talk about the scene now. So basically, she has to prove in a court of law that she owns the name She-Hulk and is She-Hulk. And one of the things about she can't represent herself. The firm are like, no, you need to get someone else. And so she's with the lady, and I don't know whether you want to sort of say, Kayleigh, I'll bring you in on this. The lady's name's Mallory. She's playing, for me, the character she's playing is that kind of stereotypical hard-faced woman in that role. Does that make sense? What's your opinion? Because to me, it was like the episode started, she's almost playing a kind of stereotypical, and you see as the episode goes on, she's not that, but to begin with, I was just like, oh no, it's a very stereotype.
Yeah, and it was difficult for me because I know her character, throughout the books and stuff. So I kind of can kind of see what's coming.
Yeah.
But in terms of how she was in the episode, that happens all the time, and women pit themselves against each other.
Yeah. And
I'm doing this out of professional courtesy. I don't like you, but I'm going to put a face on and I'm going to win and I'm going to do this because that's what girls do. You can do it while thinking, I want to rip your face off.
Wow. God, it's a different world, isn't it, mate? It's just like, wow. Right? It's like, I'm sort of like far more black. Like someone that sits down with me like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't like you. Women would just be like, yeah, I'll do that. Not because I like you, because I secretly hate you, and this whole time I'm going to be giving you slide looks. It's just like, wow. I can't decide if they're more professional or not. But she, I don't know. I don't know whether it's the kind of the power suit look, the kind of the way, because she did an amazing job. Like I think the way they depicted it, she did an amazing job in that. She was totally calm, collected. Like the other guy was trying to sort of rattle her a little bit, just stood up, delivered her lines, what she needed to say. The only bit was kind of the judge at the first part sort of said, look, do you have more examples of her using the name? Obviously she didn't, but she managed to kind of bluff that to get a bit more time. That was the only time I looked at her in any of this, and I thought, she looks a little bit flustered in that moment. But completely bluffed it and nailed it anyway. And then, of course, we do see Jen's master plan to prove that she's the She-Hulk is by parading all of those dates. Yeah. Kayleigh, we see that guy again that me and you were a bit sus about. Now we've seen him a second time. Are we still sus, or do we just think, oh, actually, you're just a dork?
No. He's gross.
Are you still sus on him, or do you just think he's awful?
Absolutely. Well, both, actually.
Okay. Well, yeah, it definitely can be both. Yeah.
A disgusting human, but I think there's there's a little bit too much emphasis on him for him not to be meaningful in any way, I think.
Yeah, you know, like you see people in shows sometimes, you're like, oh, wow, that reminds me of certain people. A lot of people like loved the Office sitcom because anyone who's worked in an office are like, yep, I know all of those people. And I'm watching this, and that guy, I'm like, God, when I used to go out like a big group of guys, I used to just cringe how some of them would speak to people, and this guy just reminds me of that. It's just like, oh, please shut up.
We all have that one in a group. Yeah.
It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like literally, I could feel like my shoulders going up, like literally like, oh no, my skin's crawling, please just don't talk anymore. No, awful. And it's the way, the thing I like about it is the way, again, Jen is lovely, and Jen's kind of like, okay, yeah, that'd be nice, yeah, you know, meet again or something. And her friend Nick is just staring at her like, you just rolled over
so fast.
Yeah, so fast. Like, and she's like, I know.
I have changed my opinion on where his allegiances are, actually. So originally I thought he might be, you know, DODC or, you know, a bad from that part of the world.
Yeah.
But after watching the episode, I'm wondering now, is he a mole for Titania? Because if you watch back, there's a weird glance. It's really, really quick. Yeah. But, you know, is he something to do with her? Is he something, obviously, the relationship with Mallory Book, is it more to do with that relationship?
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted as to where I think he sits, but he's definitely, he gives me the ick. He's definitely...
Give me the ick.
Something is going on with him, but I don't know what yet.
Yeah, no, I think that's abundantly fair. Now, did you guys follow much of the announcements from Disney Plus Day with regards to Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay, did you see the announcement of who the villain is in Captain America 4?
The leader, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, do you know who that is in conjunction with the MCU?
He was a guy that was in the original Hulk movie. I know that.
He was. So it's weird, but whilst we were watching She-Hulk in the first episode, we discussed how Banner's blood, how just, you know, impact it has on people. And funnily enough, before this announcement was weeks away, we discussed that guy and how he had it land on him, and we saw his head expand because there's one drop of blood went into him. Well, that's him. He is the leader, and like obviously some sort of brainiac, very intelligent character. Do you think potentially he could be the one behind trying to get She-Hulk's blood in this series, and perhaps this series is going to introduce him, and then we'll link him to the Captain America film that's to come?
I am 99% certain, especially after was it episode 3 where she's walking back home and she gets attacked by the new Asgard construction workers.
Yeah.
And they try and take her blood and stuff like that. With the announcement then afterwards of who that baddie's going to be, I'm putting one and one together and knowing Marvel coming up with 24.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, Kayleigh, we kind of discussed this when we were talking about it. What do you think of that theory?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And actually, I think, hang on, what am I trying to say? Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I wonder if the whole, because I've been a bit disappointed with the whole Titania piece so far in the series, if I'm honest. Yeah. I was hoping in this week's episode that this would be, you know, when it all kicked off with them, and it's almost like she's a bit of a red herring, and we're building up to something huge, and that could potentially be that huge thing.
I think you're right. I think because in all the trailers, all of the little promotional stuff, it's always been built towards, Titania is the main villain. Titania's that's going to be the head-to-head. So the fact that we're into the show now, and basically Titania is... See, the funny thing for me is, like, as a character in this, she doesn't come across as a serious threat, physical serious threat. Mm-hmm. But her parody of social media stars is so spot on that I'm loving it. Like the whole kind of oh, I like that, I'm going to trademark it. And then within a day, she's like selling perfume and stuff like that. And the way, you know, that like little intro thing I put on the beginning, and the way like, oh, hey everybody, welcome to my live stream. You can click the link below to buy this. I'm like, oh, this is all far too familiar and painful for me to see. But so her parody of that is so nailed on. And like you said then, Kayleigh, it feels like it was a bit of a bluff, red herring, and
it was Agatha all along.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know the villain is really
Mephisto!
Yeah. In this episode, there were 2 flies on a window, just letting everybody know it's there. Mephisto's coming, people. Do you know the day that character's going to show up? I'm not going to care. It's like, and here is Mephisto, and I'm like, over it, done now.
That's so WandaVision. Don't care.
I've been waiting years. But anyway, so we do get this court scene. Kayleigh, I want to put this to you, and Stefan, I will bring it to you afterwards as well, but I think the answers could be different. Kayleigh, if you were in a situation where you had to, for whatever reason, clear your name or something, and the only way to do that would be to parade in front of a judge in a courtroom, and possibly the whole public, a string of your worst ever dates, like some of the worst decisions you've ever made in that regard, would you do it?
Oh, I don't know.
I love that.
Now that is a damning indictment into Kayleigh's
I want to point out I probably know at least one of them, and she's right to really hesitate. But I
don't know.
I asked myself this, and I was kind of like, and the funny thing is like, I asked myself this question, and then my brain was like, well, how bad's the punishment if I don't? Like, am I going to jail? How long for? Like, my brains are like, oh, I could probably do 6 months. You know, it's like, that's how bad that parade would be for me. Stefan, same question to you.
I mean, I'm quite lucky because if I'm on the date, it's guaranteed to be a good one. So therefore,
okay, moving on. Shocking arrogance from the man.
I have a theory. Everything happens for a reason. So therefore, therefore there are no bad decisions. There are just learning curves.
Yeah, some of the learning curves I've gone down have been pretty shockingly bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some very steep learning curves, that's for sure. Yeah. Brick wall sort of.
Some real horrific decisions that I've kind of suppressed, and for them to be kind of like brought back in front of me would be, I don't know you. Yeah, we went on a nope, not at all. No. Where are you lying?
My bigger issue would be trying to contact any of my exes, because I'm pretty sure I'm blocked by like every single one. So I wouldn't have much of a witness.
I feel this says more about you. Perhaps I should ask them this question.
I've always gone down the fact that they've blocked me because they've realised they've had awesomeness, so therefore they have to remove it completely, and that is why they blocked me.
Okay, mate. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah,
that is how I get through my day.
That completely works. Yeah, that completely works.
That's how I get through my day. Yeah.
Yeah. Kayleigh, wow, right? Like, wow.
She's gone silent. She's like, no, I'm not getting involved in this one.
Well, no, and she's just currently sat there just like shaking her head going, what am I doing here? Yeah,
it's like you can see me.
Yeah.
It's like you can see me.
Yeah, so what?
Move on.
I like, we just talked about that guy in that hallway giving me the ick, and then Stefan managed to do it all in one move. So she does do it. She is a far braver person than me. She does do it. She does take the hit. She kind of earns a little bit of respect from Mallory for taking that hit, and then it's like Mallory kind of like thaws for a moment, then realizes like, oh, actually no, I'm not going to be your friend. Says something sly about getting her clothes sorted and leaves. But she does win. So there's kind of like, so this is one of the things in the episode which is important. She is now She-Hulk. Like, she does now own that identity, and I think she also now realizes she likes that. Yeah. Because up to this point.
Sorry, I loved earlier in the episode where her examples were, well, Doctor Strange and Thor didn't copyright this. Like, that was chosen funny. People where it's their actual names.
Yeah, that was good. You've actually picked two of them.
Has Peter Parker copyrighted Spider-Man?
Who? Yeah. I don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm not sure.
I don't understand Spider-Man. Who's the other guy? Yeah.
I personally would like to think that is the sort of thing that Tony would have done. Like, the minute, like Iron Man, trademark. Like, the minute he came out of it, trademark. The minute he meets Peter, like, yeah, by the way, Spider-Man's now trademark under my company. You just, like, the Avengers, trademarked. You just know Tony would have handled that.
But you can have Avengers and Avengers.
Oh, that was funny. I mean, I say that. I say Tony would have done it. Pepper would have wanted to do that, yeah. Tony would have maybe just suggested it at some point. She'd have gone, yeah, I've already done that, Tony.
Leave it to the girls, Sam. Come on.
Let's face it. Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes and doing the work. So let's be real. So just focusing on the little side story then, which is Nikki. Now, Kayleigh, me and you mentioned this because the guy in the office whose name has just gone completely out of my head. Pug.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. Kayleigh, me and you used to watch Green Arrow, DC show. Loved that show. Really enjoyed it. And he played a character in that who was just straight up nasty, straight up evil. And I am actually having a tough time not being overly suspicious about him completely in this show because of it. How are you finding that? Because all of his actions, everything so far, he just seems like an okay kind of funny, silly guy. But I'm just looking at him all the time going, no, I'm on to you, you son of a bitch.
No, see, I've managed to completely separate the two.
Oh, done.
Only because, and this is don't judge me for saying it, but he's just got infinitely hotter since he's come over to this show. So I've got no problem with him, if I'm honest.
He has got infinitely hotter. There we go. I can't believe she's just reducing a talented actor to just being like a slab of meat. Listen to her. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shocking.
Wow.
Yeah, just reducing him to his hotness. Yeah, but no, he's a good-looking dude. But I did find it kind of funny in this episode. He's also a little bit kind of geeky, a little bit kind of nerdy, and so he's talking to Nikki about getting these Iron Man trainers.
Yeah.
Now, in the end credit scene, and I don't know if either of you saw this, they do the kind of cartoon drawings of a lot of scenes and stuff.
Yep.
One of the cartoon drawings is actually of him getting his trainers. And on the wall behind him, there's obviously loads of different branded trainers. You can see there's Thor trainers and all sorts that are there. Mm-hmm. Did either of you notice Deadpool was there?
He did. I paused it to see how many.
Of course you did.
There was loads. And I take that as a very good sign. And actually what we said last time about bringing She-Hulk and Deadpool together absolutely has to happen, even if it's a special Christmas episode that's 7 minutes long.
Just something to see those two
break.
What would be funny is like one of them breaks the fourth wall and then the other one goes, "Oh, you see them too?" Just like completely off the wall crazy. Like, "Oh wow, you know they're there too. Excellent, great." I thought I was going crazy.
Don't mind me. I'm just scrolling through the credits on my phone.
Right, whilst he's doing that.
How did I miss
this? Nikki's kind of like, how have you found out about this hookup? And he says, "Oh, there's this guy, and I think what's his name? The Drip Broker."
Alonzo, the Drip Broker.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I mean, I'm having to Google the terminology a lot. That's how old I am, and that's how the show's making me feel old at different points. It's like the drip. And the worst thing is as well, of course, I say some stuff to my daughter. I'm like, "Phoebe, what's that?" And she looks at me like I'm an idiot. Like, oh, how do you not know? I'm sorry, but like a couple of months ago, something sick was good, and now I don't think you say that anymore. I don't know. So, yeah. We find out there is someone who is making custom clothes for super people, for powered individuals, and they managed to get an appointment for Jen to go. Nikki manages to do it. Good job from Nikki, by the way. She's doing her thing. She's doing great work. Did either of you, now I'm a massive fan of the animated movie The Incredibles, did either of you have any moment at all like, Edna, let it be Edna?
Yes.
Absolutely.
If there is a small woman with glasses opening the door, hello, darling, I am gonna lose my shit.
Bring the baby.
Yeah, I would have absolutely lost it. As it was, a guy is a character who we're now introduced to. Who I did see someone on TikTok basically say, "Wow, the MCU's got a variant of Edna that's a black guy." I thought very good, very good. But he's kind of a fun character in his own right, a little bit Edna-esque. I do think there's a little bit of kind of like homage being paid there.
A bit of a parody, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it is a comedy show, so I do think it's a little bit of a nice little nod and fun. Mm-hmm. The thing I like about it is just kind of like looking at her, just like, go away, not interested, go away, not interested. And then she does the transformation, and there's a challenge there to design outfits that are going to both fit her as Jen, but then when she transforms, still fit her.
And you
Hulk
can see tried to tell her. Bruce was like, spandex. Just wear all spandex.
Bruce did like, who's your best friend? Nikki. Spandex is your best friend.
He tried to tell her. I mean, I would be so happy if he's literally made her a suit out of spandex.
It would be kind of like very fitting, like kind of like no one tell Bruce about this.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, only when there's a challenge for him, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm in for that. Yeah, okay, I'm up for this. One of the things we got to talk about, obviously, is finding the drip broker. And I kind of skipped past this, but we got to talk about, because you mentioned it. We see the guy in the back of his, is it boba shop?
Bubble tea, yeah.
Bubble tea. Again, something else that my daughter's addicted to, and I don't even know what it is.
Very relevant.
It is. Yeah, I'm just like,
they're popping up everywhere, and I don't understand why you would drink balls of tea.
Thanks, man.
It's great.
I don't get
it. With you. I again feeling so old, but the guy takes it to the back, and he's basically selling knockoff Avengers stuff. But the funny thing is, again, in this guy who I'm really suspicious of, but Kayleigh says he's really hot, so I don't have to be. He like picks up Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. He's got like the Iron Man stuff. He's there like, yeah, stuff.
He's spinning Captain America's shield up, pretending to throw it in the background and stuff.
It was just very funny. And also, I'm kind of thinking to myself, Stefan, if you were in this shop, that's basically what you'd be doing.
100%. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Buying the trainers as well. Those Iron Man trainers, if they come out, they're yours.
Having now seen what they look like in the sketch thing at the end of the credits, yeah, those Iron Man shoes are mine.
Also, what was it he said? He says something about one for the streets, one pair for the streets and one to keeps or something like that. I can't remember what he said. But she was like, what?
Stock or something, yeah.
So when she said to him, so like, you have a whole collection of shoes just to look at, and he's like, yeah. She's like, I can respect that.
That's a really American thing. Loads of people in America, there's loads of
keep like, those trainers.
Sneaker collection. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. I don't think you really have it over here.
No, not. It's not for me. I mean, I'm a very practical person.
I have owned some very expensive, very nice trainers in my time. When I was younger, I had quite a nice paying job, and I was young, so therefore I would go and buy stupid trainers. But I never even thought for a second about, I'm going to buy 2 pairs. And have one on a shelf.
No, that's not a thing for me. But you're right, I have seen that, especially when I used to watch MTV Cribs. It used to be like, oh, here's my trainer room. I'd be like,
here's my sneaker room. Yeah.
Yeah, sneaker room. Yeah, you'd never wear those. What are you doing, man? But
these cost me $3,000 and they sit on a shelf. Why?
Yeah. Although saying that, there are things I do collect, which many people might look at and go, why? Yeah, but anyway.
I have to stay silent as I'm looking at my lightsaber, Pops, Iron Man memorabilia. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But the lightsaber just makes sense. So.
Oh yeah.
So we get this. We meet this character. He does make clothes. We don't get to see She-Hulk in the outfit yet. She's trying it on, but he walks towards a box that's been left out, and he's like, "Oh, this shouldn't have been left out." And he goes to put the lid on it.
Yeah.
And inside that box is the helmet, the headwear for Daredevil.
I squeaked.
Again, I made a noise that a grown man should not make. Like that. I was very, very happy. I obviously was a big fan of the Netflix show, a big fan of the character. He's a very good lawyer. We know, because of all the trailers and everything, he is going to make an appearance at some point. And I'm just like, this surely means next week. Yeah. This surely means next week we're finally going to meet him. He's
and
finally going to appear.
Jen's going to fall for him or something. With all her dating failures, she's going to fall for...
Well, there's a mid-season trailer, and in the background you've got Daredevil kicking the crap out of somebody, and she breaks the fourth wall and says, I really like him. But she is She-Hulk at the time. Like, I'm really liking this guy. I don't know. I mean, from memory, and I don't know if you ever got around to it, but Kayleigh, you never watched the Daredevil series, did you?
I didn't watch all of it, no.
No. So are you as excited about his cameo, or are you just kind of like, nah, it's another cameo?
No, I want to see him because I think it'll probably be one of the most exciting things of the season because of what it will bring. Yeah. I'm kind of in two minds as to whether to go back and watch the Daredevil, whether that will conflict in my brain for the new version. So I don't know. I do like, and I love the actor.
I genuinely, and I'd say this to everybody, anyone at all, if you've not seen them, it's genuinely worth watching because they're part of a kind of a whole Defenders saga, but you can also watch the shows, and watch them and still get a basic understanding without watching the others as well. Yeah. The third series might be a little bit difficult if you've not watched the Defenders because of the beginning.
I've watched all of the others, all the other individual series.
You just got so... I know why. You were so scarred by what Ben Affleck did as that character in a film.
Possibly.
You would not watch it. I remember talking to you about it. I was like, it's brilliant. And you're going, nope, that character can kiss my ass.
Yeah. That movie was horrendous.
Horrific. I mean, like, so bad that it... Yeah, so bad. so bad. But you, and I mean this, anyone who's not seen them, please do watch because they are violent. They are not watched with kids, by the way. The MCU you can watch, put on in the background. This is violent to the point that you feel like you almost feel the punches connect, It's like,
the Netflix shows were not for kids.
No, they are a step up. But yeah, no, I do recommend it. Now, of course, the version we're going to get in the MCU is going to be different. Is still the same actor, is still got the same background, and they are going to kind of elaborate a little bit of this. I mean, for me, we know he's going to be in LA now because he's going to be there. Now, he's a New York-based character who's always in New York, so why is he in LA?
He's the devil of Hell's Kitchen.
Exactly. So that is something we need to find out. Why is he there? Could he literally be there because he needs a new suit? And this is the person you go to now.
See, I like to think that maybe they're going to try and tie... Because where we've had the 3 series of Netflix of it, could be... If they literally put it up with, he starts talking to Jen, he's like, no, I'm from Hell's Kitchen, but I've got a lot of history there, so I needed to make a fresh start. Just literally, if he says that, and I'm just like, I'm there, that's fine. Because we know about all the Elektra stuff and all that stuff that happened back in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
maybe he's literally left New York,
He's like, I had to have a fresh start. I couldn't, the ghost of the past or whatever, and I just couldn't deal with it. And I'm like, okay. Because that, to me, that would then leave it in my head as, that was all canon. Therefore, I haven't got to worry about any of that. He has come here for a fresh start in law or whatever. And I'm like, Because obviously he's there because it was he represented Peter and stuff.
He did.
So we know he's in the area anyway. So if it was just a case of he goes,
no, Peter's in New York.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, he's in Queens. I mean, he's a Queens boy. So yeah. Ooh.
sorry to shat on that. Sorry.
But anyway, there was too much happening in New York, so he came to LA for a fresh start in law. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Kevin Feige did say, about Moon Knight. He's like, we had to base him somewhere else, otherwise New York is just rammed.
Yeah.
So it could be, and that could work quite beautifully. Really, the only sad part about that, of course, it probably means we won't see Foggy come back.
I'm desperate.
Which
Desperate
is a
for
must.
Foggy and Karen to still be there somewhere.
Yeah, they have to be. So yeah, I mean that was the episode. I enjoyed it. I know you guys are both kind of like it was filler in the sense of nothing major happened. Kayleigh wanted more twerking.
Kayleigh's happy there was a hot guy in it, and you can always trust a hot guy. So
yeah. Well, maybe
no
if he
hot guy
twerked,
has ever done wrong.
And that's why I couldn't bring my exes to the courtroom.
Yeah. yeah. Oh yeah, because they're all super hot, definitely.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was some questionable decisions. We've all made them. Move on.
Pipe down.
Yeah.
Wow, this just got super personal.
I just remember a conversation like, I don't know what she sees in that guy. No, me neither. Anyway. We shall wrap. I mean, let me just check. Stefan, is there any other points that you want to discuss from the episode?
Mate, I am out now. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not getting involved anymore.
Kayleigh, any other bits that I might have missed, or any sort of little bits you want to pick up on?
I mean, there's a couple of things that I had that kind of stuck out to me, but nothing major. I think at the very beginning, when she's driving and she sees all the billboards, I think that was really clever. And I think Marvel have done a really good job this season in this show of being really kind of not just aware of what's going on, but self-aware as well. You know, she sees these, she's being bombarded with all these messages. She's sad, she's eating ice cream, and you see all this stuff from influencers that makes you feel like a troll.
Also, do you know Titania called her Shrek in the courtroom?
Yes.
That was funny.
I was like, what?
Shrek is now canon in the MCU.
Yeah, I kind of, along with Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. I kind of did wonder if that was like a line that they threw in as a take. Everyone laughed and they went, leave it in.
Yeah.
because it did feel really off the cuff. Whatever, Shrek.
I had note I've just noticed as well, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Cousin Ched.
Yeah.
Coming in. Can you sign all this merchandise for me? It's not mine. It's got your name on it.
Yeah, well, I can't make my mind up about that guy yet. He seems to be just really annoying.
But we've all got that family member that is like that.
Yeah, that's fair. Some of them far closer than we'd like. So the last thing I was just going to put to you both was one of the things this show is doing, in my opinion, and this episode really reinforced it by being introduced to someone who is clearly making a living and a full-time job for creating clothing for superheroes, is there is now a lot of people with abilities just bouncing around. Titania is a super-powered influencer. So does that mean they're just everywhere? And this has all happened post-blip, and there's just more and more people coming out the woodwork. You know, you've got, elves that can transform into a Megan Thee Stallion, It's kind of interesting when you factor in like the things from Ms. Marvel and the DODC, and we discussed a bit about like the X-Men arc of like how people became really anti-mutant because they felt like, they were becoming inferior, being pushed out by them. There was a real kind of racist almost backlash against them. I'm wondering if this show, although the show's comedic and very funny, I wonder if the show is furthering that by showing us, in this world now, it is more and more people with abilities are coming out of the woodwork. I'll put it to both of you. Stefan, you first. What do you think?
I just sit here humming the X-Men theme to myself, going, yeah, this is how it's all going to start.
All right.
This is how it's all happening. The blip or the click thing, that's when they've come back, it's going to have kind of merged that mutation starting. Yeah. And that is why there's now so many coming around, because it's like, And I think it's going to be a real fun thing. If they do go down that route, there could be a lot of fun of these people that don't realise that they've blipped in and out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, every time they sneeze, a firebolt, kind of like a fireball comes out their face. They're like, what the heck
there could be some very, very comedic stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, it also opens up the Wanda Maximoff House of M, story, which could, you could have this massive explosion and all this kind of stuff, and then you could have that bring it all right back in again. But Kayleigh, what do you think?
I mean, I think so. I think it's at the moment still very exclusive.
Yeah.
Until you see, a Topshop high street equivalent of superhero clothing, it's still very much going to be contained, and I don't want it to get too big.
No.
If that makes sense, because it will lose something. If everyone, has got an ability, then
no one has.
Special, So, I they could do so much with it, and I love his character. I love him.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the end I watched the other day? The flight attendant, hilarious, brilliant.
Yeah,
and I think he's great. So I'm hoping we see a lot more of him.
Yeah, I think we will. I think he's been introduced now, and I think he's going to crop up a few times.
IMDb has him in pretty much every episode between now to the end of the show credited.
I wouldn't read too much. Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that, because Titania was listed in every episode, and I think she's appeared in 2. Maybe like 3, but I wouldn't read too much into that yet. But I do think we are going to see, not just in this show, but possibly others as well. Well, I think that's everything. I think we've covered everything. We will be back next week to discuss episode 6. I think is it a 9-episode season?
Yeah.
So yes. Yeah, so we're over halfway then. So there's just 4 episodes left.
And I'm still standing by. This is my favourite show so far.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, until next week, I hope everyone's enjoyed listening. I'm very sorry we did have a fault with Apple, which has now been resolved, I'm delighted to say. It was something way above our pay grade, but the people at Apple finally got it fixed and let us know. So if that's how you normally listen, apologies for the disruption recently, but it is back now and working. But yeah, we will be back next week to talk episode 6. Stefan, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Kayleigh, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll be back soon. You all take care.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.